The woman painfully took off her clothes, revealing her belly. Then her belly began to swell rapidly. In just a moment, the woman gave birth to twins. Margaret was a novice nun. She had been sent to a convent to help with some mundane tasks. On the surface, it looked just like any other convent, with its solemn architecture and austere atmosphere. Everything seemed perfectly normal, but what set it apart was that it not only took in minors, but also provided shelter for unwed pregnant girls, because in those days, unwed pregnant women were often ostracized by society. So, with nowhere else to turn, they had no choice but to seek the church's help. Little did she know that behind this warmth and kindness lay a terrifying secret, led by the Mother Superior. Margaret toured every corner of the convent. Soon, she discovered a girl locked away alone in her room. The girl's behavior was extremely bizarre, as if she were being controlled by some force. The moment she saw Margaret, the girl rushed toward her and began frantically licking her face. This instantly terrified Margaret. The Mother Superior explained that the girl's name was Carlita, due to her behavioral issues. Everyone regarded her as the convent's monster, which was why Carlita was kept locked up alone in that room. Margaret seemed to see a reflection of herself in Carlita at her previous convent. Everyone had also treated her as an outcast, because whenever Margaret prayed to God, she could always see things that others couldn't. That night, Margaret shared a room with a girl named Luz. She, too, was a novice nun. The difference was that Luz always liked to wear glamorous and sexy clothes. She told Margaret that in the future, she would be wrapped in thick nun's habits, so she had to take good care of her body while she still could. Then she helped Margaret change into a sexy outfit. In a little while, they would become full-fledged nuns. So before that happened, Luz wanted Margaret to let loose completely just this once, although she felt a bit out of her element. Driven by curiosity, she followed Luz to a bar. Visiting such a place for the first time, Margaret seemed exceptionally nervous. Soon, two handsome guys came over to strike up a conversation with them. After a few shots of hard liquor, Margaret completely let her guard down. She went out to the center of the dance floor with one of the handsome guys, and even imitated Carlita's moves by licking his cheek. When she woke up the next day, Margaret was back at the convent, and her clothes were still intact, but she couldn't remember a thing that happened after the bar. Luz told Margaret that she brought her back just in time before things got completely out of hand last night, although Luz repeatedly emphasized that nothing bad had happened. Her body's unusual sensations couldn't be denied. She couldn't shake the feeling that something very important was missing. Margaret then went before the statue and repeatedly confessed to the Virgin Mary, hoping God would forgive her actions. Little did she know that her words had all been overheard by the priest hiding in the shadows. When she came out, the priest sought Margaret out privately. He told her that many strange occurrences had been taking place at the convent recently, all related to a girl named Carlita. The priest then gave Margaret an address and instructed her to go there that evening to find him. Margaret looked completely bewildered. At first, she didn't take it seriously and went back to her work. However, the series of eerie events that followed completely defied Margaret's understanding. Just as she was chatting with Carlita, she suddenly heard a blood-curdling scream coming from inside the convent. Margaret rushed over to investigate. To her surprise, she found a pregnant woman in labor. She saw medical staff strapping the girl to a bed, then taking out a scalpel and forcefully cutting open her lower body. Immediately afterward, a terrifying ghostly hand reached out from inside, and the pregnant woman, who had been writhing in pain just moments before, broke into an eerie smile.